It's late evening, but I completely forgot to film this for y'all. Well, my sprinklers that I was worried about, my sewer sprinklers, they never quit working the whole time. They popped up and sprayed water constantly because we were running water in our pipes, you know, to keep the sinks and the faucets all flowing, so they never quit running. So they sprayed and it created this winter wonderland here in my backyard. But they never quit spraying. I think technically they probably go down a couple of inches. I think they pop up to spray. So maybe that's why they never froze. And because we were running water and because I kept washing dishes and cooking and everything else, they never quit spraying. So anywhere they spray, which now I can tell exactly where they spray, anywhere they spray, it stayed frozen. All the way over here. Everybody that rides by probably thinks, what in the world? Why has she got so much ice in her yard? But you can see that it's the path of where these little things rotate and spray. I've got a lot of little limbs and stuff that probably aren't going to make it. But I can say that my sprinklers never quit working. So now I'll know there's no need to worry about them. Just let them keep on going. Just worry about the pipes in my house. Here's the seed catalogs I've gotten so far. Burrell, Annie's, Wilhite, Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, Seed Savers Exchange, Jung Seeds and Plants, Gurney's, Fedco, the whole seed catalog from Baker Creek, R.H. Shumway's, and Berlin Seeds. I'll get more, I'm sure, because I haven't gotten Johnny's yet, and I always get Johnny's, and there's probably some more that are still on the way because a lot of seed companies, they know me. I appreciate my catalogs. I love my catalogs. I actually asked for a Baker Creek catalog for Christmas and got it. I'm so excited for all of them, and I'm going to spend hours looking through all of them. I use them all as reference books, but this year I think I'm going to shop for seeds at Laney's Hoarder House of Seeds. I've got some seeds, y'all. I've reached critical mass, and if I don't start using some of the seeds that I have, I just worry they're going to go bad, because some of them I've had for 4 or 5 years, and I need to start really using them soon. I probably should be embarrassed that I have 6 dresser drawers full of seeds, but I'm not. I love them. I collect seeds. I admit it. But they're for a reason. I grow food with them. I enjoy them. I give food to people. I give seeds to people. And if I see a good deal on seeds or a variety that I really want to try, I get it. And this isn't actually it. There may or may not be a big blue tote full of other seeds in my den. Mustard greens, cover crops. It's just a rumor, but there may or may not be a tote full of seeds in there. But this is what we're going to go through for now. I pulled some specific seeds out and put them in a bowl in my kitchen, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I have in these drawers. Why do you have so many seeds? I'm going to show you, and we're going to talk about it. And tonight, since it's cold outside and we have another freeze coming tonight, and there's no chance of me going outside anymore today, we're just going to talk seeds. How about that? It may not look like it, but each drawer is organized. I worked hard after last growing season to organize my seeds. This drawer is corn, and I did the other night sit at the table and decide on what I'm going to do with my corn. These seeds over here are what I'm going to try to grow. Well, I decided today one of these has got to bite the dust because I don't think I have enough room for both of them. So, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I guess that one might bite the dust, and I'll keep this multicolored one. I'll tell you about it in just a second. These seeds over here will be the ones that I just can't plant this year. I wish that I could plant all the corn that I wanted to plant because I like growing corn. I love growing corn. In spite of what some people say that it doesn't produce enough to make it worthy of growing it for a home gardener, I just don't care. I like growing it, I love watching it grow. I love having fresh corn. I know you can get cans too for $1 at the store sometimes, but that's not the same as this. That's just GMO institutionalized corn. When you grow this homegrown corn, it is so good. I wish I could grow it all. I'll just show you a few of the varieties right now. I don't want to bore everybody with showing everything I have. This isn't a big show off of every seed I own, but I do order occasionally from this company called Native Seed Search. It's out of Arizona. And they carry things that will grow good in the Arizona heat and in desert climates. And then they do have a lot of rain there too. So some of their climate kind of mimics what's going on here in South Louisiana sometimes. Not the same exactly, but sometimes. And so I do order seeds from them periodically. And I haven't had a chance really to put a lot of it in the ground except Yuma okra. And that did really good at my house at Camp Joy last year. So this is just a flint corn, like you grind it up for flour or whatever. So is the other one that I kept over there in that other pile. And one of the other of these are going to grow, I'm going to try to grow them this year. So I'm looking forward to that. Most of these other seeds that I have, pencil cob, Stoll's evergreen, on and on and on, bodacious, delectable. Some are hybrids, some are not. Silver Queen, Golden Queen. This is a Roundup Ready corn that I didn't even really know what it was when I bought it, but apparently you can grow it and spray it with Roundup at a certain inch before it gets 30 inches, I think, and you won't have any weeds in your corn. I've never planted any because I really didn't understand when I was buying when I bought that. This is White Truckers. I have Yellow Jarvis, Yellow Dent. There's a Hickory King down there. This is Yellow Truckers here. Io Chief, Mosby Prolific, Candy Corn, and Sweet G90. I'm actually planting some of these that are in here, but I'm not planting them straight out of these bags like this. What I'm doing is I am going to try to get a landrace variety of seeds kind of going. I had talked about this a lot on some previous videos. These I'm calling year one landrace seeds, but they're actually not landrace seeds yet. I took some field corn seeds that were in this basket I just showed you. Yellow and White Truckers, Yellow Jarvis, Hickory King, some Yellow Dent, and I mixed them all up in this bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the seeds in this bag that are all mixed up. They're different varieties, different heirlooms, and I'm going to plant them all together. I'm doing that in my front corn patch. I'm going to plant them all together. I don't care if they cross. I don't care what they do. I'm actually going to plant these to one side and then plant all of these. I do not care if they all cross. I would love to isolate these and maybe just grow them on their own, but I don't have the room. I want to go ahead though and get some landrace things going in my yard. And what landrace means is you plant some seeds in your environment. Hopefully they grow. You let them just kind of tough it out. You don't baby them. You don't do a whole lot to them. You see which plants are the strongest. You let those grow. You end up, I'm assuming we get corn off of them. I'm only going to save seeds from the ones that grew the best. If they were a weakling, if they barely grew, if they put off a bad ear that looks rough, not going to save those seeds. Can eat those, but I'm only going to save the seeds from the ones that look like the survivors, that look like the ones that beat out all the other corn. So you save those seeds. The next year you plant them again. And what's happening is, since they grew in your environment last year, the theory is that the next year they will be more adapted to your environment. So that second year you plant them, hopefully they'll even grow better. They'll be stronger and better. But you still do the same thing that year. You take the best of those seeds, the best ones that look the best and taste the best or perform the best for you, and you take those and save the seeds only from those plants, and then you plant them next year. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I call these my year one landrace seeds, because this is the first year I'm going to plant them. Any of them that stay in this bag will always be in the year 1 bag. Once I save seeds from what grows from this, I'll start a year 2 bag. I'll do that later. In the small corn patch that I have over by the horse pasture, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it with sweet corn seeds. This package does have, if you see any of these red seeds in here, they do have a few hybrids mixed up in there. And you can actually use hybrids when you're trying to do your landrace seeds. You can use hybrids. You don't want to use all hybrids, but you can have a few mixed in there. And this bag basically consists of all types of varieties that I only had 1 pack for, just like 1 little pack of seeds. So I mixed them all up, and I'm calling them my year 1 landrace seeds for sweet corn. I kept all my larger bags pretty much intact. This bag just consists of a lot of little bags I mixed together. I just picked a couple of other things that I want to try to make room for in some beds by themselves. I've been wanting to try the Country Gentleman from Seed Savers Exchange. This is an old heirloom variety, and a lot of people grow it, and I've always wanted to grow it. I've had it about 2 years, and I just haven't made the room for it. But this year, I'm going to try to do it. And this is a sweet corn variety that I'll have somewhere in my yard. This is the last of the honey and cream seeds that my neighbor had given me last year. The corn came up great and was doing so good, and then we had that drought. So I might try to make some space and finish growing these this year so that I can have them and tell him that I grew them. And this one I started to grow last year and changed and grew another one. But this is that Gerlead Blue. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's from Seed Savers, and just looks like an interesting corn. And I kept it separate, even though it was in a single pack. I didn't mix it up with the other sweet corn. I think it's because it takes a long time. It's like 100 to 110 days. Hold on for the ride. There's only 5 more to go. I'm going to try to make it quicker, though. In this drawer, I've got lima beans down at this end and green peas at this end. I may go ahead and do some green peas in the spring, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have the bed space. I don't know yet. I'll show you a little bit of drawing that I have on my table, and bed space is going to be at a premium. It just is. Like, for instance, these lima beans. I don't know if I'm going to have room to grow a lot of lima beans this year. I may end up with enough to grow 1 section. Last year I grew 2 or 3 sections, and I love growing them. I love to harvest lima beans, and I just love them. But I just don't know. I'm kind of having to pick and choose a little bit this year and be a little more selective on what I grow. But you can see I have plenty of varieties to choose from. I have a lot of little individual packs that are so interesting to me. Some of them came from Clemson University. Some of them came from other places. And they're so interesting to me. And I want to grow everything. But I have to just really think about it. I don't have the big 3 gardens that I used to have at Camp Joy. So I really have to think about what is the priority and what is going to make me the most food to put up. So anyway, this whole drawer here is a maybe. We'll just put a maybe, stick 'em note on it right now, and we'll get back to it. This drawer here, drawer number 3, if you can believe it, and if you're from the South, you could probably believe it, this whole drawer is cow peas. I have, as we say, more cow peas than Carter's got liver pills. I got some cow peas, and this year, I really don't know where I'm going to put them. To grow cow peas, you don't just want to grow a little pot of them. You know, you got to grow a long row of them. If you want to have enough black-eyed peas to put up and everything, you really need to have a row of them. I don't know where I'm going to put them. The only good thing about cow peas, though, is they will grow in hotter weather. I don't have to plant these right off. So these might end up being a succession plant for other things that, you know, as other things come out, like my potatoes and things, I can go ahead and plop seeds for cow peas in there. This entire drawer is bush beans. And it goes to the top of the drawer all the way. What I'm going to do is I took all my dry bush beans that I had in small packs, and even in larger packs, and I just mixed them. And I have 1 bag called dry bush beans. I'm going to plant these somewhere around my house and try to just see what comes up. This is your tiger eye, your Lena's bird egg. I have all kind of beans in here. I can't even remember which dry beans are in here. I think Jacob's Cattle and Jacob's Cattle Gold, all kind of different things. But I'm going to try to find somewhere to plant these and just see if they work, because I do want to get some of these landrace varieties kind of going. A lot of your bush beans don't cross as quickly as you think they would, so you may end up with several years of just getting the same beans over and again. But that's okay. It's as long as you save the seeds from them, you're saving seeds from things that are adapting to your climate and your environment. So that's what I'm going for. The rest of these down here are just your basic green or purple snap beans. And I'll pick some, probably the strike. That's this top bag here, because they come up and are ready to go in like 45 days. And last year they were prolific. I put up a lot of green beans last year. So I'll probably pick a few little varieties and try to find some space to do those. But the thing is, I actually have a lot of green beans in my pantry. I have a lot, so I'm not devoting a ton of space to green beans this year. But because they're so easy to grow, they make you feel smart. And so I always will make some room for some green beans in my garden. This is drawer number 5. And it is pole beans. This is all pole beans. I don't have as many pole beans as bush beans, but I do have a lot. I did do the same thing, and I have a huge bag of pole snap beans that I've mixed up and called my landrace year 1 seeds. These are just tons of seeds. I decided to get rid of so much packaging and because it was just getting harder and harder to pick out what I wanted to grow, and so I just mixed them. These will put off just regular green beans or purple beans, but they turn green when you cook them, so it doesn't matter. But these will put off just regular snap beans of all different varieties, but I'll be planting them together. And over here, I have another bag that's not quite as full, but it's still pretty full. And these are dry pole beans, not regular green beans. These will make beans that you save the seeds out of to save the seeds. You don't eat the pods, you just save the seeds. So, you know, between the two of those, that might be all I plant this year. Just whatever I can find room for the landrace snaps or the landrace dry beans for the pole beans. But I have other options. Should I find 10 feet here or there that I can put some more pole beans? I have a lot of other options of things I can plant. This is drawer number 6, and it is my catch-all. It's my catch-all drawer for everything that is not a green bean or a cowpea or corn or peas or lima beans. This is everything else that I have to plant. And I usually, if I can fit things together to make a whole bag rather than wasting bags, I do it. But like this is rutabagas and eggplants. I have a whole bag of radishes. This is your kohlrabi, parsnips, Brussels sprouts, and gourds. None of which I've really planted for it with any success. This is arugula, escarole, and lettuce. This is all my herbs and flowers, and this year I'm going to try to reduce the size of this stockpile a lot. I'm going to take my flowers that are in here, and they're going in the ground somewhere on my property. Between my pollinator row and other options, I'm going to get these flower seeds growing. They're not doing me any good in these bags, and then once I grow them, they can reseed themselves, and I can just start having things come up around here to where I don't have to plant all the time. So, and now the herbs can do the same thing too. Some of those herbs I may have to start in little pots, so I'm going to evaluate that. So this is all my herbs and flowers, and my goal next year is to have this bag like only a third full. I want the rest of them planted in the ground. I don't know if you guys do this, but I save these little bags that like coverlets come in or sheet sets come in. They have the zipper at the top, and I use them to put seeds in. They're so durable, and you can seal it up with that zipper, and I love using these. So I always save these bags whenever I buy sheets and things like that. This bag is basically just full of all your Asian greens and things like that. I have stuff shoved in there like crazy. I have all my cucumbers. I'll just go briefly because you all have this same stuff. Winter squash. There's all my tomatoes right there, except that I did take some out already of those. I got the cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, pumpkins, carrots, peppers, all kind of pepper seeds. There's some perennials over there, my celery stuff, okra. Y'all, I have layers and layers of stuff. Squash, spinach. Ooh, it still goes. Zucchini down there. At the bottom of that pile. I even have edamame and fava beans. And somewhere in here, I must have missed it, but I have like a bag with beets. I have anything you need. I have just anything you need between all these bags. So you can see why I'm going to shop from Laney's Hoarder House of Seeds this year. I'm not going to spend any money ordering seeds. I don't need them. I just don't need them. And it's kind of silly to start ordering things because chances are I already have it. I already have it and all this stuff. So let me go to the kitchen table with you. I'll kind of show you my little sketches of my yard. They're just pencil, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of the thought process behind how I decide to select seeds and what for. Everybody has their own reasons. Some people plant very, very few varieties of things. They just plant a few things: potatoes, corn, you know, some carrots and some snap beans, and they're good to go. I kind of like to plant a little bit more than that, but this year I'm actually not going to plant everything. I'm not really worried about lettuces this year and a whole lot of greens. I had a lot of that during the winter, kind of tired of it. So I'm just going to focus on the things that make me happy. I'm going to plant lots of tomatoes, lots of corn. I'm going to really plant a lot of tomatillos and cherry tomatoes, and then cucumbers. And I'm really looking forward to growing a lot of winter squash. I have really gotten into eating it just roasted in the oven, and it's so good and so easy, and it fills me up. It makes me feel good when I eat it. So I'm going to kind of focus on growing those things that just make me happy, but also that store well in case we need things, and that I can share with people. So let's go in there and we'll talk a little bit more about it in the kitchen. I like to take a piece of poster paper and cut it in half and kind of draw half of my yard and then the other half. This you're looking at right now, if you see where my thumb is down here, that's my porch when you walk out of my front door, right there. And I drew my ramp in part of my house. So this is basically what you're looking at when you look out my front door, and all to the left, I have a few different beds. I drew my driveway in. I kind of draw everything kind of as how it would lay. And then I'm just going to start deciding where to put what. I'm not going to write it in right now until I do a lot more thinking about it, but I'm already deciding. I've even got my carport area over here with my beds along my carport. When you see dotted lines, those are my flower beds. If you see solid lines, those are obstacles in my yard or other things like that. Like trees, I draw the trees. I kind of try to draw everything. This piece is back down here to my porch, where it says porch. That's where I'd walk out my front door. And this is looking to the right side of my house. This is everything to the right side. I did draw my big corn patch up in that corner there at the top corner, because I didn't have room on really either page to draw it, but I just drew it in the top corner. It's not really positioned right. But anyway, this is the right side of my house. That's my small corn patch over there. And then everything you see here with dotted lines are the little flower beds up near my house. And what I kind of do is I kind of just sit here and make notes, like potatoes, question mark. Everything's a question mark right now. Put in the Dallas Edwards bed, put in the Jubilee tomato bed. Those are things that mean something to me. It won't mean anything to you, but I put those notes to myself to give myself an idea of where I'm going to pencil in those potatoes. I have them right now in a pillowcase, in a dark place, ready to grow the eyes on them and everything. I've already bought my seed potatoes, but I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put them. Tomatillos. I threw out some ideas for the tomatillos of where to put them. I think I'm changing that though. I'm also growing ground cherries this year. I've never grown those before, but I've heard they reseed real easily and all, so I'm trying to really think where I want them. I think I'm going to put them near my Mary statue around those trees. But this is how I do it. I just have to put pen to paper. I have to put pen to paper. I can't just willy-nilly walk out there and throw seeds everywhere and feel like I'm going to understand the harvest that I might could have. A crop might fail. That's just what happens. But when you do plant, you're kind of having an idea of how many row feet you're planting and kind of what the harvest would be if everything comes out okay. And I'm praying everything will come out okay with them. I got on my computer and looked at my little inventory of seeds the other night, and I made some notes on which varieties, if I get to plant them, like my pole limas, I decided to plant my mescla seeds. I got those at a local co-op. I've never grown that variety, and I'm dying to try it and see if it does really good around here. If I have room for green peas, I'm going to go with the early Alaskas, I think. I'm just going to try those. I've been trying other varieties the last couple of years. It's time for those. But you'll see my pole beans are the landrace. Watermelon. I don't know if I'm going to have room for watermelon. I didn't show those seeds, I don't think, but I have a whole bag of watermelon seeds. If I do, I decided to go this year with these 3 varieties because I got them from local co-ops and other people grow them well around here. So that's what I was going to try. Golden honey. I've grown Wilson Sweet before, and then I'm going to try the Tender Gold. The herbs, I was making lots of notes, but really I'm just going to probably go for everything with herbs. And here's where I kind of went crazy. I was only going to grow 2 or 3 varieties of tomatoes, but I ended up with a whole bunch of them on my list. There's cherry tomatoes, regular tomatoes. When you add in some wild tomatoes that I have, ground cherries, and tomatillos up here, 5 varieties, that's a lot of tomatoes. But this was after the cut. This was after I made cuts. So we're going to see what happens. I've had these Sakura tomato seeds from Johnny's. I'm going to try them this year. I've watched people on other channels grow them, and they did wonderful. I don't know why I haven't tried, but I'm going to try these this year. I'm also going to try Red Pearl that I got from Johnny's years ago. And then more of the Matt's Wild Cherries. Boy, those grew good, and they reseeded themselves. I don't know if the plants are going to make it after all this frost, but I do know they're prolific. This Matt's Wild Cherry did really good, so I'm going to put some more of them in this year. I'm going to put some more red currant. I lost all but one in the freeze last year, but I want to grow them again. This is a wild tomato from Native Seed Search that's kind of like a Matt's Wild Cherry from what I can gather, and it says it reseeds heavily itself. I'm looking to plant some of these small kind like this that'll come back next year along fence rows and stuff. And so I wanted to try this seed since it's a wild growing kind of cherry. I'm going to try the Aunt Molly's ground cherry. I've never grown a ground cherry, but I'm looking forward to it. The whole thing with tomatillos and ground cherries and all is really starting to intrigue me. I had good luck last year with my green husk tomatillos. I actually used all the seeds. I don't have any more seeds because I planted them 2 years in a row and didn't save any seeds. So this year I'm going to definitely save seeds, but I'm going to try this pineapple tomatillo, a Hubersmith tomatillo that I got from Landis Valley Seed Company. It's up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or Lancaster, if I'm saying that wrong. I'm going to plant some purple tomatillos. I'm going to plant a Mexicali tomatillo that I got from Native Seed Search. I'm looking forward to planting this and seeing if it'll kind of grow wild too. A Tama Verde tomatillo from Native Seed Search. You can see there's a theme here. I'm wanting to grow a lot of tomatillos. And for tomatoes, I'm kind of going a little different with some things. This Nyagu tomato from Seed Savers Exchange. I just love black tomatoes, and this just looked intriguing to me, so I bought the seeds, and I'm going to try that. Along that same vein, this Japanese Truffaut black tomato, I'm going to try that. From Landis Valley Seed Company in Pennsylvania. They sell a Belgian beauty tomato that was raved about. And so I'm trying some of these simply because I want to, simply because they just seem intriguing to me. This Kernkovic Yugoslavian tomato from Seed Savers Exchange was highly recommended by them. Another one that was intriguing to me. And in the vein of the black tomatoes, I'm going to try this black Seaman tomato. I'm trying some of these because I just want to try the seeds from these companies, and these are from Burrell, which is in Colorado, I believe. And they have a tomato called a J. Moran that's supposed to be one of their best sellers that their customers really want all the time. So I'm just going to give it a try. I've planted this Roma before, this Roma VF. It did really, really good, but I was listening to someone talk about the San Marzano yesterday, so I may swap this out for the San Marzano. I do have those seeds as well. Y'all let me know what you think. If you've grown the San Marzanos before or the Romas, which did you like better? This one is from Johnny's. It's just a number, a BHN 589. It's a hybrid tomato. I wanted to try it specifically because it's a hybrid. And some of those sometimes grow better than your heirlooms. And for production, I just wanted to kind of try this one out. Same goes with the Martha Washington from Johnny's. And then I got this one at a local co-op. It's just called a Bradley tomato, which I had really never heard of. But I wanted to try it and just see what it's all about. This is the Arkansas Traveler. I got these seeds about 3 years ago on a trip to Arkansas and still haven't tried them. I know some people rave about them, and then I know some people don't care for them a whole lot. I'm ambivalent. I just want to try them because I have the seeds, and I want to just see for myself what the tomato is like. And then I have some Homestead tomatoes. I've had these seeds a while too, and I really need to use them. I won't go through them all, but I've already picked out what I'm going to plant for winter squash, cucumbers, and pumpkins, and zucchini, and your summer squash. And so I've already got all of that picked out, and I'll put it in this bowl, and I'm setting it to the side. Things can change, though. Things can change. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. This is kind of what I go through. This is what I do in the wintertime, kind of getting myself ready for spring, kind of orientated around what I have, what I don't have. And I decided this year I have plenty. So with all this to choose from, you know, I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed. No complaints. I'll find something. And some people have said this year might be a rough growing year too. But I'm just holding out hope. I'm holding out hope. You know, you never can tell. You just never can tell. Put the seeds in the ground. Just put the seeds in the ground. And if the rains come, if they don't, you know, things will work out as they'll work out. But if we don't put the seeds in the ground, we have nothing. So I encourage everybody, just kind of get on it, get excited about it, and get ready, because it'll be here before we know it. It's already January 20th. Who could have thought it would be here this quick? It seems like we just had Christmas. Y'all have a good day. Thank you so much for watching me, and I appreciate it. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place. Bye-bye.